Well, it has been quite a while since I posted a YouTube video, and it's probably been even longer since I did a mystery box video. And they are my favorite videos to post for you guys because they are actually fun for me to make. One of the funnest parts about me with Lego is the thrill of the hunt and going out and thrifting and going to garage sales and just kind of finding whatever's out there and being surprised with what I find, especially if I pay a good price for it. But in the case of these mystery boxes, they're even better because I am paying what I think to be a fair price for the weight, and there's always a chance that you're going to find something more interesting, something more valuable. So that's why I like to go through these mystery boxes, make a video about them just to show that you can find some awesome deals. So this one I've actually had sitting around for a while. I did just order a few more this week. So I've got one or two more coming in, and I think I also have another really old unopened one sitting around. So this one has been sitting in my garage for God knows how long. But again, these are, I think, up to $65 now with the shipping. I think it's $60 and then $5 for shipping. And then they are 15 pounds. And a lot of times in the past, they were pretty good and pretty decent. I've heard from a lot of other people who order these that as time has passed, they have a little bit less to offer inside as far as value, but I'm still hopeful. So let's see what we got. All right, with these, I always throw a tarp down, like a painter's tarp. A lot of times these are pretty dirty and I don't want to have to vacuum my carpet every single time I dump one of these out. But I got my brick separator. Let's do this. All right, the first look. Looking like a lot of Pink and Friends stuff and non-Lego. So this is not looking good so far, but you never know. So here's a perfect example of don't worry too much. There might be something in there anyway, because I was looking right here and what do I notice? It's not the right head or the hair. That is an Ezra Bridger body and leg piece. So even though there's a lot of not very great looking stuff on top, there's at least one pretty decently valued Star Wars figure in here. So there definitely could be more, and that's what I'm here to find out. So I am going to dump all this out, but I kind of just want to do a slow pick through the top, or at least get rid of all this big stuff. Like, there's no way this is Lego. Yeah, this is like a Polly Pocket car or something. I got gypped out at like 10 ounces right there. Again, this is all like non-Lego, I'm pretty sure. Same with this steel. Again, this is a pretty heavy piece that's not Lego, but it is what it is with these. You can't expect them to be perfect. What is this? Interesting. Okay, so this is definitely not Lego, but there is Lego base plates cut and glued onto there. So another pretty, not gonna lie, that is disappointing because again, that's a decent amount of weight there. It's getting included into this box as Lego weight, and it is in fact not Lego. So it's a little disappointing, but again, it is what it is with these. And here's the part where I think I'm gonna dump it out. And to be honest, from this point on, there does look like a decent amount of big chunky stuff still to go, but I'm seeing like a city figure here, a little something figure there. So I'm hoping when I dump it out that there's maybe a couple other Star Wars figures. But again, with these, even with what you're paying, you're usually getting your value just in weight of bulk parts. The only time that you take a real hit on that is again when you get stuff like this. So the value is still usually there. It's just a matter of how much over or sometimes under it could be. But let's get this thing dumped out. So after the initial dump, my thoughts are I might be in okay shape. You know, there's some horses, there's a few other, oh, looks like some sort of clone or stormtrooper body. So there is some decent stuff in here. I just gotta find it. There's a sealed bag with a penguin in it. I imagine that's some sort of Frozen set maybe. But I am seeing some hints of life in here. As far as value, you just gotta kind of find it. Again, stuff like this, not worth a ton, but if you get it all together, and if you're a reseller, there's definitely value. And if you're just a collector and looking to build your collection, obviously you're gonna find value here. But here is something that, again, I think this, I would have to look it up. Again, with one thing I do with these videos is not only am I going through and exploring the mystery of the mystery boxes, what I also do is at the end is I like to gather as many interesting items or what I believe to be somewhat valuable items, whether it be just a couple of bucks or whatever it is. Sometimes I think it's interesting even when a tiny little part is worth a couple of bucks. So what I'll do is I'll kind of go through this. I will find as much of the interesting / valuable stuff as I can, set it aside, and at the end of the video, I'll actually kind of go through, look those items up on bricklink, and show you exactly what they're worth. For me, it's all for fun, and I always like to know what things are worth when I find them, so hopefully that is interesting to you as well. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed in this box. This was pretty much everything of notable value that I could find, whether it be minifigure parts or just interesting little parts that I know are worth more than 10 cents. A lot of just incomplete stuff. I don't think I had one complete figure in here. I was hoping that after I found this Django and his head, that I would end up finding the rest of him. I guess I could go back through and do a sweep and try to see, but otherwise I really didn't see anything. Other than that, we found a Winter Soldier torso, a Phase 1 updated clone helmet, some of these visors, which aren't worth a ton, but I figured I would pull those aside as well. And then don't pay any attention to the head or hair there, but we have an Ezra Bridger figure here for the torso and legs at least. I couldn't find the rest of it again. As far as what I'm gonna go through to look up and show the value, it's pretty much gonna be this stuff right here, so I'll get into that. All right, so I've already got Django pulled up here. Obviously, I don't have the full figure. The full figure is selling on average for about $35 used or $52 new, but really it's the parts we're gonna look at here. Since I don't have the full figure, we're gonna pull up the parts list for this and look at the torso. Obviously I'm missing an arm. I'm gonna count it as a full torso there. Just the torso on its own is selling for an average of $10, but it does have sales anywhere from like 13 to 16. Looks like in the month of July all the way up to $23. There's actually a few sales for $20+ for just the torso. You got to remember that there is value in small things if you know what to look for, and this is a good example. Going back to the parts list, we're going to click on the head because I do have the head in here as well. So with this head, it doesn't look too crazy, but as you can see down right here, it's only appeared in 2 sets and 1 minifigure. So this is exclusive to Django Fett's, and with that, let's look at the price. Not as much as I thought it would be, but still $2.50 on average used. And I mean, look at the sales are going all the way up to $5. Even in July there was some for $6, $7.20, even one for $12. So even with it just being a head, there is some value there. Obviously the average price is only $2.50, but you gotta remember average price usually means average condition. So if something is selling on that average price spectrum of $2.50, it probably has a couple nicks in it. It's probably not perfect, but I guarantee you those ones that are selling for $3.50, $5, or $7 or $12 like we see in July, probably gonna guess that those are in very good condition, or the people were just willing to pay for what was on the market at the current time. That's kind of how it goes. The next figure we got here is Ezra Bridger, and like I said, I don't have the head or the hair. This figure on its own is averaging for about $7.82. If we're just looking at the torso, that is going to be 85 cents. So basically, let's just call that one $1 because it's ranging from anywhere from 70 cents to $1 for month to month. $1 is a little on the high end, but again, we're talking pennies here. And then we're gonna look at the legs here, and those average for about 70 cents. We'll call that one another $1 because it is consistently selling for $1. It looks like most months, maybe some months a little less. Next up, we have just the helmet from this Phase 1 clone trooper. I'm not gonna go into the figure because I literally only have the helmet for this, but even with a helmet like this, about $2.95 average, and then looks like sales all the way up into the 3s and 4s most months. So this is just for a helmet, and obviously it's for a clone helmet, so it's a little bit more desirable than your standard regular minifigure headgear. It's still interesting that just the helmet could be worth up to $3. Then here we have the Winter Soldier, which again, I only have the torso for, so we'll just get right into what the torso is worth. This, surprisingly, again, not a ton. With a box like this where you're trying to get every little last nickel and dime of value, having a $4 torso pop up inside of it. All right, we've got these visors, and then we're gonna do the net that I found, and that'll wrap it up for the parts. With a part like this, you gotta make sure you're selecting the correct color, but let's look at the price guide for this visor here. So 14 cents a piece. I know, it does not sound like a lot, and it really isn't, to be honest. These things, you find a lot of them. It's not a lot, but it is an interesting part to me, and every time I find them, I'm like, ooh, oh boy, Star Wars visor. You know, not worth a ton, but still I think worth looking up. So last up, we have this Lego net, and these always hold a lot of nostalgic value for me, because they came in a lot of sets that were in sets from my childhood, but apparently this came in black and white. The black netting is worth $1.85 on average, all the way up to, looks like, in the $2 to $3 range, depending on the month. Again, for a part that you would expect to be maybe pennies, 25, 40 cents, whatever it is, to be almost $2 for just a little piece of net, I think that's pretty cool as far as Lego parts go. With that being said, that is everything I've got for you today in the mystery box. Hopefully, I've got one more on the way here, and then I think I've got one more downstairs in my garage. So hopefully these boxes start to turn up a little bit, because I do want to keep making these videos. I do love going through the boxes. It's always a little bit more fun when there's some interesting things to find inside of them. But other than that, I really want to start posting more on YouTube other than the mystery boxes as well. One of the things I want to start doing is set reviews, and then I'm kind of going to venture there. I'll probably do some thrifting and garage sale content, but other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you guys on the next